Hey, good to see you. Thanks for coming. This is another episode of Wireframe brought to you by Design Systems House. I'm your host, Donnie D'Amato, and today we're going to be talking about CES 2026. CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. It is a conference or show. It's a show that's in Las Vegas that shows off lots of interesting tech that companies are coming out with. So a lot of the big name companies are out there. A lot of the small name companies are out there. And I went last year. I didn't go this year. I went last year. CES is still going on this week. If you didn't know, I've been, doing wireframes all week. So I've been here, local to New York. But I was in CES last year, a year ago today. And what I will say before we get into some of the stuff that was in CES this year, I will say that if you are a person who likes tech, gadgets and things like that, you should make an attempt to go to CES at least once. The reason that I went last year, and well, I've been wanting to go for several years, is um, because every time that I saw the media cover CES, I always thought that it was so big, and it is. But it being so big, I don't understand why they kept covering the same tech over and over and over again, right? Especially if it's just boring, quote unquote, boring tech, right? It's like, oh, okay, new laptop. What does it do? Oh, it's just got better specs. And it's just like, well, okay, great, thanks, you know? Or here's another TV. What has it got? Oh, it's just better specs. It's just like, make it interesting, you know? So that's the thing that I always thought was so weird is like it would be very few and far between would you find something in these reports about something that was like, oh, I would actually like to get that or buy that or whatever. So it took a while. Um, Interestingly enough, I've probably purchased something from a CES every year for the past like 5 years. Probably except for last year, actually. I don't think I've purchased anything from last year's CES. I had some interest in some things, but I never actually purchased anything. Like for instance, my laptop is an Asus ZenBook. It's the original. They have a new one actually that came out this week. But my ZenBook, I love. I love the ZenBook with the two screens, the removable keyboard. It's excellent. And in the event that I need to purchase a new one, I'm absolutely getting another one of the newer ones. It's so good. Before that, I tried out EcoFlow's lawnmower, which is an absolute dumpster fire. I would never recommend that thing because, like, well, mowers are a problem in general, and I'm hoping that they get better, and maybe they've gotten better. I don't think I'll ever get another one personally, based on what I've been working with them with. But ultimately, all I need on a robot mower is effectively a Roomba, right? Something that just like runs around the yard and cuts it. Now, it sounds like that's what they are, but it's not what they are. The reason why they're more complicated is because it has a blade on it. It you need to like pay attention to where it's going. So you need to kind of like tell it where to go and map out the area. And the older versions would give you this like guide wire that would go around the yard. Well, the problem with that is the blade would slice the guide wire and shut the entire system down. I had one. It's awful. So they got smarter about that, smarter, and they ended up having like a antenna that would be in the middle of your yard to then tell you where the robot is and tell it where it is. And the problem with that is that sometimes that would be off, and it would tell me that the device was in my neighbor's yard, and I'm sorry, that's not possible. I have 6 foot of fence around the entire yard. Not going to happen. So even that was not working, right? And the reason I say that I just kind of need one that's a Roomba-like thing is because I don't have anything in the yard that I'm worried about cutting up if it went over it. It's either just paved or grass. No big deal. Not to mention that this is not going to go into the front yard where, there's actual people. It's contained. But side tangent, um, like I said, CES, I went because I thought that the news didn't cover everything that I thought was actually at CES. And that is true, and there's a reason for it. Because not everything at CES is worthy of news. There are areas in CES that are kind of like, I'm not going to call them junk, but it's just like there's a very specific area that I have in my mind. It's one of the last ones I went to. I shouldn't say reminds me, it makes me imagine of how it would be to hang around Shenzhen in China, where there's just like doodads and tech and little, things all over the place in different like shops, like on top of each other. There was a whole like hall dedicated to that. Then another thing that I'm thinking about is that the first hall I went to, I, it took me 2 hours at a New York pace to walk through, and when I walked through it, I really didn't see too much that came out and jumped at me. And that first pavilion was all about automotive stuff, and not the automotive stuff that they're highlighting, like the Aflia. I think it's the is a joint between two companies. I forget which ones they are, and they brought another car out. That's usually in some like main pavilion. This is in like the overflow kind of automotive pavilion, and they had a couple of like dash heads up displays that I was like, okay, that's interesting. But other than that, yeah, there's like improvements to automotive tech and that kind of stuff, but nothing that was like, ooh, I want that, you know. Uh, so that's a lot of the reason why I understand now why they're not covering all this stuff that I know is there, is because some of it's just not newsworthy to the general public. And even for an enthusiast like me, it's still not really newsworthy. But it could be valuable to industries out there that are visiting, that are checking this new stuff out to potentially, do large purchases and whatever. So there's some value in there, certainly. Um, so what I've told myself is that I probably wouldn't go again until like 2030, right? I think it's a good experience generally speaking. I mean, I've had, it was actually a little rough because there is a ton of walking. My feet were like in shambles. It was just really hard to walk on the fourth day. In fact, I'm considering like next year to bring my motorized suitcase to just drive around because it is extensive in terms of the amount of pavilions and things to see and talk and all other stuff. It's very overwhelming, and on top of it, it's not all just at the convention center. There's stuff at the Venetian too, which is not near the convention center. You have to like take a shuttle over there. Um, so anyway, like I said, if you're interested in CES, you should absolutely give it a shot to try to go over there. I definitely recommend it at least once, if not, other times in the future. But let's talk about some of the stuff they actually showed this year. And I'm not going to, again, show laptops and TVs unless they were actually interesting. I'm going to show some stuff that either was interesting to me personally, or that's something that's not in the normal kind of day-to-day media about CES. So I have a couple of things that I've queued up in here that I'm going to talk about. The first thing is really interesting, to me at least. It's called Strata. And Strata, it's up on top, says ditch the cloud, access media anywhere, transfer files seamlessly. What is this exactly? Well, what this is a cloud-based media management system. Now, this isn't like a Plex. This isn't like just for you to go ahead and like watch media. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is for a video editor or someone who's working with media, so maybe even like photo editing, stuff like that, for them to be able to work anywhere. Now, it's like, hold on a second. I could just bring my hard drive with me to work anywhere. Yeah, but what this says is that you could have a network storage at your house, right, attached to your network, and then go out somewhere, on location to a park or whatever, or somewhere's got Wi-Fi, and be able to access that stuff as if it was right next to you, Wi-Fi, permitting, right? So this is very interesting to me because, again, from a media production standpoint, I always thought this is exactly what I would want from a place that I can have like all my media in one place, and I don't need to, worry about what hard drive it's on or switch drives or anything like that. And on top of which, again, I don't need to worry about what computer it is because it's all browser based. This thing is, right? As far as I can understand from the demo I saw. So I think the demo actually was showing that there was like a NAS in like California, and they were like pinging it, and they were showing like video playing on on a mobile device, and then a person was editing on the booth, and like really interesting stuff. So I don't know anything about cost or there's pricing over here, so maybe we'll just check out pricing real quick and see what's going on here. Individual pricing. What does it say? It says for file review, it's $0. You could share folders with others, share, receive. I'll just show you what I'm reading here. Connect unlimited drives, no storage limit, view unlimited assets, track your activity. Wow. Um, Interesting. Okay, so it's share and receive up to 15 gigabytes per month. Okay. Now for basic, you get share and receive up to 250 gigabytes per month, and you could pay for up to 9 other people. Pay for up to 9 other people. I wonder what that's about. And then share and receive unlimited for $24 a month, and enhance user permissions, view only, as an example. Okay, interesting. Right. So I imagine for 15 gigs a month, I mean, you're not really doing a lot of video. Maybe it would be good for photos, right? I mean, if you're going to do some photos in there, you're going to be doing photos in different places. But obviously, you would have to go for a paid plan for video, I think, for 250 a month at least. And then, of course, if you're doing some serious videoing, 24 obviously makes a lot of sense. Um, so yeah, I think this is really cool. Again, for content creators and people who are editing video. I, as you might know, don't edit video. So even the clips that you see out there, those are done by Opus Clip. I don't even look at them more or less. Which I have some news about that, by the way. But ultimately, I think this is really cool. So the next thing I want to show is this thing called the Displace Hub. So the Displace Hub is this thing right here. It's like, what is this thing? Okay. So this thing is, it says here, it's I guess it's bringing the most interesting features to its wireless keys to other screens. Okay. So let me explain what the Displace Hub actually is before we go into the article. I don't even know if they're going to show it there. Um, Ultimately, there's this, you mount TVs on the wall. It's pretty common for us to do that now these days. And usually what you need to do is you need to install some sort of bracket into the wall, and then you install the bracket to the TV, and then you hang it on the wall, and then you potentially have to plug into the back of that TV, right? So hopefully there's some connections back there, either power or others, right? For me in particular, I have a Samsung Frame TV, so I have a one fiber optic cable that actually runs the entire thing that goes down to a power box. So it's a little bit different. But traditionally, you're going to have all this stuff that's like stuck behind the TV. Now, CES actually showed a whole bunch of different wireless TVs where they're beaming stuff to the television, but you still need to power it. Well, the thing about this Displace Hub is that this thing that's on the wall, show it again here, this black thing that's on the wall, you just kind of stick it to the wall. It is a suction based system. So you're getting it sucked to the wall, and then you could put your TV and mount it on top of this thing. And the benefit for this, which is kind of crazy, is you're of course you're going to connect it HDMI to this thing, right? And I think it also provides power. I think otherwise it wouldn't make any sense. So it's effectively like making your TV even smarter, right? So it's effectively, I guess, got a battery on it. I guess it has, some smart features on it. I'm assuming most of it's probably battery because that's really what you need the power for. So it's a very interesting thing in terms of piece of tech. Would I get it? Probably not. I personally wouldn't trust the suction-based system. I imagine there's some other kind of mounting options there, but um, would much more prefer a more permanent mounting configuration as well as hardwiring things. In fact, I'm going to actually show you. I don't know if it's even still around. Hopefully it is. Uh, let's see. Yeah. So I actually have one of these in my house. And you can see how the person here in the video is pulling it down from over the mantle here or over the console. They have several versions of this, and actually I'll show you the one that I have. It's actually this one, this guy here. It's a little bit brolic. Ooh, and wow, that's a much better price than I paid. Um, but basically, instead of you pulling it down by hand, it's actually motorized. So you hit a remote, and it would actually come down. In fact, I actually made it smart by some hacking, so to speak, so that I could actually tell Google to bring it down and bring it up. And this wasn't just because I wanted to be bougie. Actually, my wife recommended that it would look weird as having a picture up on the wall because it's above my mantle to have like a handle underneath it. So to make it look cleaner, we decided to do this. So I much more recommend this if you're going to upgrade your like TV mount setup, especially if you have like a Samsung frame, or they even had other companies make other kind of Samsung frame like TVs at CES. They were debuted today as well, or this week. So I recommend having this kind of mount instead if you're going to go ahead and again kind of elevate your media experience. So that's cool. Now, the next thing I'm going to show is actually something I haven't really even seen much yet, but I just like the title of this. And this is just says the weirdest tech we've seen at CES 2026 so far. So I actually haven't seen anything that's on this list, so I'm just curious what's going on. I see a toilet, so here we go. Throne toilet computer. Okay. Uses cameras and microphones to analyze your bowel movements. Okay, pause yourself right there, right? You immediately is probably in your head, oh my God, that's disgusting. I don't want, you know, AI to be listening to my bowel movements. Okay, hold on a second. First off, there was a whole bunch of toilet-based tech, I think, last year or even the year before. I think it's that basically every year there's some sort of toilet-based tech. Now, some personal note: I have kidney stones, and once you have a kidney stone, you basically have them for life. So one of the things that I thought would be really helpful is to kind of like analyze, you know, how my body is functioning through this, you know, through apps and toilets and things like that. So I was actually really looking forward to a device that could help me do that. But unfortunately, the government here doesn't really approve them for the U.S. They get approved more often in Europe as opposed to here. So there's nothing really available, as far as I know, that's of I think quality for me to actually purchase. But maybe this is it, right? Because what this is saying as well is that it's able to flag changes that indicate digestive or metabolic issues, including people that are on GLP-1 drugs. Uh, yeah, but the thing might know way too much. Yeah, of course, sure. All right, moving right along. Let's see what else we have. Hygienic flow pad, smart menstrual pad. I think this is probably going a little too far. I think this might be going a little too far. I think monitoring in the toilet is a lot less evasive than the pad, especially I know, and as I understand it, not every woman wants to use a pad. There's other kinds of ways of handling the menstrual cycle that you know aren't like this. So I think handling it in the toilet actually makes a lot more sense than this thing. But who knows? I don't know. The Lenovo Legion Pro rollable. Okay, so I did see a whole bunch of this at CES in terms of videos. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see that the laptop screen is much wider than the keyboard. And how this works is it looks like a normal laptop, closing and open clamshell. But I believe if you hit a button or it's a tap or whatever, it actually will expand horizontally, and it'll show you more screen real estate. I think it's cool, except I have a folding screen. Here it is. I have the Galaxy Flip 5. And let me tell you, it is a pain because there's a screen protector that is meant to help with the flexibility of the screen. And I've had to replace it twice now. I think it's $20 to replace, but it's just annoying. And I'm going to need to replace it a third time. I can already see it ruining itself. So admittedly, as interesting as the folding and this rolling kind of concepts are, I don't think it's good for day-to-day consumer use. I think it's interesting in terms of a ooh ah kind of interesting product situation, but in terms of actually like usability, we're not there yet. I'd much rather, again, that Asus ZenBook uh, laptop. I would pick that 100 times over this thing right now. All right. So cool, but no. All right, let's move on here. Oh, this okay. So this is the ThinkBook XD rollable, and this is the one that I definitely know. If you touch the top of it, it goes up and goes down. I saw the video of that for sure. But again, rollable. I'm not convinced personally. Uh, Odoki Handy 2 Pro. Oh goodness. Okay. Um, this is a sex toy. They're not sugarcoating this. This is a sex toy. When I went to CES last year, there was a whole section dedicated to sex toys. It was actually also in the sporting area. I guess so. Activity. I guess that's where it was. So this is a thing. I do believe I did also see some news about a company Love Sense being there, which is apparently really big in the adult industry. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing, as I understand it. But they, these folks, I'm sure there's other booths in the area that are doing sex toys. They're not just the only sex toys that are here. I imagine there's plenty more, but I don't understand exactly why this is getting a lot of attention. Like it's like people have never seen one before. I don't know. It's weird to me. All right, moving right along. Eye polish. All right, so what do we have here? Press on acrylic nails. Use an electric charge to switch between hundreds of colors in seconds, letting you change your manicure as often as you see fit. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, and it's a very like handheld kind of look here. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, I'm not a press-on nail person. In fact, my wife, I think she usually just uses stick-on nails. We don't do a lot of, fancy stuff here. But I could see women really into that kind of thing, making it easy. Cool. Hisense S6 follow me display. Absolutely not. No, don't want it. So if you can't see what I'm showing you right now, basically it's I think Samsung or Lenovo or LG had one of these where it's like this monitor on a stand situation, and you can like move it around. It would be like wireless connected to stuff. Well, apparently this one follows you around the house. Um, and I think no. I haven't admittedly enough displays in the house, but they have been strategically placed around the house in places where I wanted them. I don't need it following me around. I already have one that's attached to me normally. So, like, what am I going to do with that exactly? I don't see a benefit to this. I'm just going to read this a little bit and see if there's anything. Yeah, no, there's nothing in here that says it's interesting. Is that it? That's it for this weird stuff. Okay, well, cool. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was at CES that I didn't mention. Um, that that would be good to bring up because I did see a couple of videos. I didn't want to show the videos here, but I did see a couple of videos. Atlas from Boston Dynamics is there doing robot work. Apparently, robots was big at CES. It's always got some feeling in there. There was a robot vacuum that's got legs. That's probably been everywhere as well. Um, so that's interesting, I guess. I mean, every year the robot vacuum gets a little bit more interesting, I guess. But when you go to CES, there's an entire area just dedicated to robot vacuums, and it's just like very like okay, like I think we've had enough. Um, actually, speaking of things at CES, so last year when I was at CES, one of the things I was really looking for specifically was a new smart door lock. I had an August door lock for a very long time, and the big problem with the August door lock is that I have to replace the batteries, and the batteries are non-standard batteries. They're like a CR23 or something like that, and it's just like really odd. So I did get like rechargeable versions of that, but then those things they die out quick. And August normally is really good when it comes to notifying you when the batteries go dead. But because these batteries go dead so quickly, it didn't have a chance to notify me, and it would just die without telling me. So did not like that. I wanted a replacement. So one of the things that came in CES years ago was this wireless power idea where it would shoot this infrared laser down into this like receptacle effectively, and you could power the door locks like this. Yale was supposed to have a version of this. It's still not out. It's been years. So I went around at CES last year looking for wireless power solutions, and there were a few. One of them even had a demo of a smart lock with wireless power. I was talking to them. I was like, "When is this going to market?" They're like, "Yeah, we got to work with a company because that company I was talking to is specifically in wireless power. They would need to talk to a smart lock company to integrate their stuff." And the thing they had demoed, they actually just hacked together. It's not a real product. So I was like, "Ugh." Now, what I did see was at CES this year is that they do have a solar charging smart lock. And I think that in certain conditions would be very good. For my house, it actually might work out. And in fact, there is already a smart lock out that does solar charging, but I remember hearing the reviews not being so good. These, it says that it was better. I don't remember the name of it, and you could probably look it up. I'm not going to get into it here because I'm not going to fool around, but that was the kind of thing that I was interested in. This was a solar lock. Ultimately, I did actually replace my August lock with another smart lock, which has been actually a lot better because it does thumbprint as opposed to app-based stuff. My wife doesn't like to carry keys, so she likes the thumbprint stuff. So, but anyway, that's been a lot better in terms of just usability for us. I'm trying to think of anything else that I remember seeing in the videos that was interesting. No, nothing again stands out to me. Because again, it's a lot of the same stuff that people like report on over and over and over again. So it's really hard to like break through some of that stuff. And again, that's the reason why I went in the first place. And again, I recommend that you do. But that's enough for the CES stuff. Let's go to the new segment that I like to call the Wireframe Design Challenge. We did it yesterday. We're going to do it again today. And I brought the challenge up over here. The challenge here says, make a safety-focused way for Wolverine. Oh my God, what is what is this? Make a safety-focused way for Wolverine. Oh my God. What a prompt. What a prompt. Okay. Um, how can we make Wolverine safe? Uh, well, interesting. I mean, immediately I'm like, okay, you got to put like rubber tips on the fronts of his claws or something like that, right? Like um that's one thing that you need to do. Um, but yeah, how do you make him? Because I'm thinking about like the what is it, X-Men Origins Wolverine, where like he first gets the metal claws and he's like looking at them in the bathroom and he gets startled and he starts slashing stuff by accident. I'm like, okay, well, how do you keep that from happening, right? Because obviously, just rubber tipping the sharp points isn't going to help, right? Because the entire blade inside is like also sharp. So how do you keep that safe, right? I don't know. I'm stumped on this one. This is an interesting one. Goodness gracious, I don't know what this is. Let's do another one, just because what the hell. All right. Um, make only pipe cleaners for Hulu. I think this probably doesn't match up very nicely. But maybe you can interpret this as if I was going to use pipe cleaners to advertise for Hulu. Maybe that's a thing, right? And I think there's something very interesting in there. I think, especially as a media company having access to, interesting ways of showing stuff off. I think making the Hulu logo in pipe cleaners could be really interesting, or making characters of the show in pipe cleaners. I think pipe cleaner art is like a lost art. Like I haven't seen, and you know what? I got to look for this. Let's look for some pipe cleaner art. Hold on a second. I want to see. Just curious now. I want to see pipe cleaner art. Let's see. Let's go to images. All right, what do we got here? I'm just going to show that it was on the page here. So yeah, so is this pipe cleaner right here? Really? Wow, I think it is. I think this is pipe cleaner. This is great. This is cool. Yeah, this like wolf thing, and we got this polar bear. This is cool. I mean, this is what I'm kind of expecting when it comes to pipe cleaners, like this kind of art, like these kind of sculptures. But is this pipe cleaners too? Wow, that's really cool. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. This is some really cool stuff. So yeah, I can imagine. something like that. I mean, this is probably a little excessive over here. And by the way, for the folks that are just listening, I'm just seeing people have made like really realistic, almost like plush-looking dogs out of pipe cleaners, and this is like a plush-looking human out of pipe cleaners. It's a little excessive there, I think. But yeah, spiders. Oh my God, I used to make spiders out of pipe cleaners all the time. This is getting me inspired. Honestly, real talk. This is getting me inspired. I almost want to like go to the craft store, get some pipe cleaners. So yeah, that's what I would consider doing for that is to kind of like do some pipe cleaner art for Hulu. I think that's a pretty cool idea. All right, let's do one more. And over here, make an improvised way for a violinist. Improvised way of what? Don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Sometimes the prompts, look, they're just putting two things together in these prompts. It's not doing anything smart. They're not doing these prompts are not doing anything smart. So I don't know what improvised way for a violinist is. I'm not a violinist. I was barely a musician years ago, so I'm not about to go ahead and speak about that. But look, if you want to play the game at home, it's wireframe.ds.house/challenge. You can go ahead and play the game at home to your liking. And, well, you know what? I think that'll do for today. That's our show for today. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to get notified the next time that we go live. And feel free to continue the conversation at our official Design Systems House Discord by visiting discord.ds.house. Play nice in those comments, and I'll see you on the internet. Bye.